Others have called it Chamberlain, not Churchill. And remember one of the first things that Barack Obama did? The anti-colonialist. Remember the dreams of his father? His second autobiography were all about his father's hatred of Churchill and colonialism, etc. Obama tossed the bust of Churchill out of the Oval Office. Others have called it Carter II. Mr. Obama is a deep radical. His mentors and friends have included Frank Marshall Davis, a pedophile and race baiter; Pastor Wright, a racist bigot and anti-American preacher in South Chicago; Reverend Louis Farrakhan, a demagogue and Nation of Islam ideologist; William Ayers, an unrepentant domestic political terrorist who violently attacked the United States military and police installations. Unbelievable. The stepfather of Barack Obama is Lolo Sotero, who raised him as a Muslim. That's fine. But it was a fact that the Obama campaign tried to hide throughout the 2008 campaign. Does anyone talk about Barack Obama's brother, who is a Muslim militant in Africa? Mr. Obama says he was a street kid in Jakarta between the ages of 5 and 10. Psychologists will tell you that the ages of 5 to 10 are the most important formative child development years for your ideology and your relationship with other human beings. At Occidental College, Mr. Obama became a Marxist and supported black revolution and violence. At Columbia, he attended socialist scholars conferences featuring Maoist speakers. At Harvard, he applied for financial aid as a foreign student, and he's continued to hide this and all of his records and background ever since. In Chicago, Mr. Obama sat on boards funding radicals like Rashid Khalidi and Edward Said. He fundraised for president with funding and support from terrorists in Hamas-controlled Gaza. Before the 2008 election, Senator John McCain, the American hero running against the American idol, repudiated Bill Cunningham, the popular radio host in Cincinnati, for using the full name Barack Hussein Obama, which would have surprised John Fitzgerald Kennedy, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Ronald Wilson Reagan, or George Herbert Walker Bush. And so you're going to be surprised to hear that I give Barack Hussein Obama, who joins the godfather of mass murder terrorism, Yasser Arafat, of a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I give him a grade of A's across the board, except perhaps not exactly the kind of A's he receives from a groveling media, organized as shills, and now outed for their participation in the Journo list, the group of journalists from the prestigious Press of America who ganged together before the election to hide and promote and defend Barack Obama. Pencils up, you ready? Here are the A's of the Obama doctrine. Apology. Mr. Obama's groveling apology tours have featured repeated anti-American statements abroad, never before asserted by any American president. For example, when he told Europeans that America, quote, had been dismissive and derisive toward Europe. That would come as some surprise to the 16 million Americans who served in uniform in World War II. 407,000 did not return. How many more maimed? And how many tens of millions served at home, right? Rosie the Riveter, building tanks and ships and planes that turned America from the 40th or the 60th military power in the world to number 1. Today we don't have Rosie the Riveter, do we? We have Rosie O'Donnell. Even Tony Blair, the Labour leader of England, came to the United States with admiration for, quote, the Iowa or Nebraska farmer who leaves behind his family, his work, and his life to sacrifice everything to save the liberty of others. The apologies were really, literally, around the world, including the vow of debasement to the Saudi king, and repeated apologies to the Muslim world, and slanders, easy slanders of George Bush's predecessor as somehow anti-Muslim. And indeed, a major premise of Obama's administration is whatever the previous guy did, I won't do that. Actually, Americans have spent treasure and spilled blood on behalf of Muslims, as you know, from Kuwait to Iraq, to Afghanistan, to Somalia, to the Balkans, repeatedly spending American tax dollars on behalf of Muslims. George W. Bush never disrespected the Muslim world. He was extraordinarily careful to telegraph his respect for the Muslim faith, some thought to a fault. Called it a religion of peace, remember? Made the Feast of Eid, which marks the end of Ramadan, a White House ceremony. He arguably saved more lives than anyone else in history in Africa with his AIDS initiative. Many, many, many Muslims in Africa. Mrs. Bush made improving the lives of women and girls in Afghanistan her special project, remember? The caricature of Bush as a heedless militarist and xenophobe and anti-Muslim is a simple libel. I will return to the Arab and Muslim world outreach by Mr. Obama in due course. Number 2, anti-Americanism or post-Americanism. You all saw the picture, right? Of Barack Obama with his finger in a book, saving the place, getting on the airplane or the helicopter. The book is Fareed Zakaria's Post-Americanism. De Tocqueville and Democracy in America, the greatest single work ever describing the character of the American people. Noted, quote, the position of the Americans is quite exceptional. President Obama stated that he too believes in American exceptionalism, but, quote, only as I suspect the Brits believe in and the Greeks believe in British or Greek exceptionalism. Mr. Obama instead believes in a moral equivalency, reflected in a kind of submissiveness that commentators across the board noticed on his first trip after his election in November of 2008, when he went to China, likely our strongest economic and diplomatic competitor in the 21st century. Mr. Obama paid no attention to the staging aspects of the trip, sending a signal to the Chinese that he would not be particularly resolute or advocative of the American interest. During the campaign, Mr. Obama asserted to 200,000 non-voting Germans in Berlin that he was, quote, a citizen of the world. This follows the global test asserted in 2004 by Senator Kerry when he ran for president. Today's Democratic Party is simply uncomfortable with American leadership and success. And Mr. Obama comes from this left wing of the party, the dominant, by far dominant wing of the Democratic Party. In fact, the JFK, Scoop Jackson, Joe Lieberman wing is gone. In fact, Joe Lieberman is an independent. This party, its left wing and now its party, has since Vietnam fought against human intelligence assets abroad, missile defense projects, military spending, reform of the United Nations, and every other national security and pro-defense traditional view of international relations. It is not surprising that Mr. Obama and his entire party did not defend the United States when the Mexican president attacked one of our own United States this year. Gracias, Señor Obama, por nada.